Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Peggy Colbourne, and I'm the Director of Western Regional School of Nursing, and I'll be hosting the session today. So we'll start the session with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is in traditional Mi'kmaq territory, and we acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of this province. For everyone online, we're looking forward to welcoming you all to a new semester this fall. We know a lot has been going on since March, a lot of changes, and things seem to be constantly changing. So we wanted to come together and talk about the fall semester and to answer questions you may have. I can't guarantee that we'll have all the answers, but we will try to address your concerns as best as possible. With me here today, we have Jennifer Lambswood, the Associate Director of Western Regional School of Nursing. And yeah, everybody wave when I just announce you. Pam Moores, faculty, Western Regional School of Nursing. Brenda Wyatt, also faculty at the school. Laura Roberts, faculty. Don Pittman, faculty. Shauna Matthews from the Registrar's Office. I believe we have Nancy Baker from Marcom on. And we also have information technology on. So Stephen's on trying to troubleshoot everything for us. So thank you, everybody. So we'll start off with updating you on a few things. However, as we go along, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat. I'll ask that the faculty just keep an eye on this, and if we can address them as we're going through, we will. And if we don't get to them right then, there will be time for questions at the end of the session as well. So I will just like to remind everybody that as we're going through, please keep your mics muted. That will help with the feedback and sound for everyone hearing everything as we're going through the session. So I'm sure many of you are wondering about what courses will be offered in the fall. There's a preliminary list of courses offered available on Grenfell's website or on grenfell.mon.ca. You will see a new block called Your Grenfell Experience, and there you will find the course offerings, FAQs, and other helpful information. Course offerings are also available through MUN Self-Serve. So for students who are familiar with that, you can also go there. For any new students online today, you've likely already heard from one of Grenfell's academic advisors to discuss your course selections. For returning students, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the school as well, or for new students. For new students, there's also a great course called University 1010. That's being offered from August 17th to September 4th. This course is a wonderful introduction to university and offers a variety of learning on topics that will help you transition to university. So it is a 3-credit-hour course, and we highly encourage any new incoming students to do this course if they are able to do so. It will give you tools and techniques on how to study, research, and promote academic success as you move forward in the program. So we'll start with a question for the panel. Are there significant changes to the fall course offerings compared to other years? And are the majority of our courses able to be offered in a remote environment? So Jennifer, I'm not sure if you can provide us some information on the delivery of courses for the fall.
Yes, sure. So nursing courses will be delivered via a variety of different methods. So all of our theory courses, that's our classroom-based courses, will be delivered remotely. And so you all may be wondering what that means exactly. So I guess the official university definition for remote learning applies to a situation when a course, it was developed for in-person delivery, but it had to be delivered in an alternate way due to disruption to in-person delivery. So that's the way we are moving for the fall. Nursing courses, though, that are delivered remotely will have assigned class times. And may be delivered through a variety of methods. So although there will be assigned class times, faculty may choose to do different things. So you may go and have live online lectures according to the schedule, or there may be pre-recorded lectures that you can watch, in advance, that type thing. So faculty will be communicating, those expectations to you individually with, if different things might be happening in different courses. And all nursing courses use Brightspace platforms. So each course will have a corresponding Brightspace shell, and all information will be uploaded there. And for our current students, you're very familiar with Brightspace, and we'll continue to use that. For our incoming students, you will certainly get used to that. And Brightspace is accessible through the MyMon account. We have made some minor changes to course offerings. So for our year 1, our incoming students, our Nurse 1017 course has been moved to the winter semester. So there's adequate room for that course to be moved there. And also by doing so, it'll allow your group, your cohort, that's year one for the 4-year option and year one for the accelerated option or 3-year accelerated stream, to complete all courses remotely this fall. So that means you guys will not have to be on campus at all during the fall semester. And so that would work much better. So then you would be required then to be on site in the winter to complete that course as well as your clinical course. For years 2 and 3 of the program, so our classroom-based courses will take place via remote delivery. For lab courses, things are going to be a little bit different. So labs are going to be delivered via a combination of remote delivery and on-site practice, because as you know, some of the skills that you guys are learning are not conducive to remote delivery, because you do require that hands-on practice, which is so essential. So some labs, those that are conducive to remote delivery, will be delivered that way, but others that require you to be in the lab using equipment and practicing will be delivered on site in the lab. So with regards to registration, when you go to register, you can access your nursing courses under Western Regional School of Nursing. And you'll notice that when you look at each of the courses, there'll be listed below it. It should say remote delivery, or it might say combination of remote delivery and on-site delivery. So that will kind of, those lab courses that I just spoke to would have something like that written next to it. For your electives or your non-nursing courses, so you can find those under Grenfell campus, and those courses again will be completed remotely. But you can also opt to complete online courses. So you can scroll through the online campus section, and you can look for any courses that might be offered online. So I think that's it for me for that piece.
Jennifer, it's Shauna. Can I pop in here for 1 second? Just that the first year nursing courses are listed under Grenfell campus, not under Western Regional School of Nursing. So for students in first year, if they look under Western Regional School of Nursing, they won't find their course offerings. They'll find them under Grenfell campus.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Shauna. Yep. Thanks, Shauna and Jennifer. A lot of important information there. So I know students will be in various communities, time zones around the world in September. So they're going to have different levels of internet connections. So a common question that we've been hearing is, where there are live lectures or synchronous class times, will lectures be made available to those who are unable to attend live? So Pam, can you answer this question?
Sure, Peggy. As Jennifer mentioned, nursing courses will be using a variety of delivery methods. So it's important to note is that faculty will be using a combination of synchronous and asynchronous class time. So I'm just going to expand a little bit on these two terms because you will be hearing them frequently. So synchronous learning is when classes occur on set schedules and time frames. So like Tuesdays at 10, Thursday at 11, that type of thing. So students and instructors are online at the same time in synchronous classes, since lectures, discussions, and presentations take place at specific hours. All students must be online at that exact time in order to participate in the class. So you'll be there live. We know that there will be challenges with synchronous classes. So all synchronous classes will be recorded in the event that there's internet challenges or time zone, differences in time zones that cause issues as well. So therefore, you should be able to access this material anytime after the class occurs. There will be a link provided. You'll go on it and you'll be able to listen to the recording. So asynchronous classes let students complete their work on their own time. Instructors will post class content, lectures, discussions, worksheets, that type of thing, and students are required to complete or review the class information during the week. So there might be work like questions that you have to do that the student will do on your own time during that time frame. So in asynchronous classes, you could hit the books no matter what time of day or night. So that's very convenient. Also, all faculty will have virtual office hours, so where we're available to you, the students, each week. Students can also make appointments with their instructors and, outside of office hours as well. That works best for you. It's important for students to be checking their emails regularly. We tell you that all the time for those who are in their second and third and fourth year for sure. Daily, and communicate with instructors using your formal Grenfell email addresses. or your Brightspace through the communication there. Communication is key in keeping up on your classes, your labs, and it's very important as you transition to nursing and to remote delivery.
Perfect. Thanks, Pam. In September, courses will be offered in a variety of different formats, and we've mentioned that previously. So as Jennifer said earlier, all nursing courses will have a Brightspace shell, and Brightspace is the learning management system used by Grenfell Campus and Memorial University. However, within that, and in addition to that, students can expect to see some different platforms and innovative teaching environments. So Laura, would you like to start off by telling us about how the first year labs in Nurse 1003 will occur? I know students are interested to hear more about that.
No problem. So Nurse 1003 is all about developing therapeutic relationships and teaching students how to feel comfortable communicating with each other, and also to develop, that rapport that you need with clients in order to provide the best nursing care. So due to the, objectives of that course, likely our labs are mainly going to be synchronous. Because students need to see each other, need to be able to, role play together and be able to learn how to communicate. So that needs to be done synchronously. We will be using the WebEx platform like we're using today because of the capability of multiple webcams, and students will be able to see each other and be able to pick up on the nonverbal as well as the verbal communication. But there is some flexibility that some activities can be done asynchronous based on, what's going on with them at that time. That's it for 1003.
Perfect. Thanks, Laura. I'm not sure if any of the other faculty or panelists have some additional comments.
So I guess, yeah, I could speak to the lab courses in second year and third year. So for those second year students completing 2502 and 2004, so I know that faculty have planned to have some of those topics delivered remotely and others delivered within the lab setting. So it depends on the topics. And again, faculty will communicate that to you when the time comes, when the courses start. And of course, for our 3515 is the other course for third year students. So same thing. That lab will take place. Some things will be delivered remotely, others on site. And clinical, of course, will take place as per usual. We're hopeful that we will be able to complete our med-surg clinical in those areas and at the hospital. And 2502, same thing at the maternal newborn unit at the hospital as well. I think that's all I have to add there.
It's Becky. If I could speak to anatomy and physiology for a second, if you'd like.
Sure, thanks, Becky.
We also have labs for anatomy and physiology normally, and normally a lot of these labs can be done on the student's own time remotely anyway. So we will be doing the majority of these remotely and asynchronously. So we're working out the details now, but you'll still have connection with our lab instructor, Candice, and with me. But the majority of this will be done sort of on your own time with support from us.
Thanks, Becky. Any other faculty want to add to their courses in other years? No. Okay, great, thanks. So important thing too is when we do return back to on-site, students who will be attending lab in the classrooms and in the lab on third floor, students will be required to wear a mask in lab. We're suspecting that they will, so you will need to provide a cloth or some sort of homemade mask or purchase ones for use when you do participate in lab sessions. Okay, so for some new students I know you may be taking courses already this summer through the Kickstart program or other university courses. However, for those of you who aren't, we will be offering a virtual orientation program to help you transition to university and help you get familiar with the Brightspace platform. So this launched last week, and students can access it through their Grenfell Experience block on the website. So there will be a section for nursing, and information will be uploaded over the next couple months as we get closer and closer to the fall semester. Additionally, all new admits to the program will receive an admission package within the next 2 weeks with a lot more information regarding entering the nursing program, your pre-requirements, things that you need to do before you begin the program. So stay tuned, that will be coming to you very soon. And all other students in years 2, 3, and 4 in the accelerated program will receive a memo with important information leading up to the fall semester as well. And that'll be coming from Jennifer Lanswood via your official email address. So the next topic we'll talk about is just technology requirements. As we've been talking a lot about the move to remote, you need to consider your technology requirements as well. So are there any specific requirements that students need to be successful in courses? So Brenda, not sure if you can cover this information. Well, Brenda, you're still muted.
I'm working off two systems here, my microphone and my thing. Yeah, so hi everybody. So I'm just going to list a few common things that you'll need. This is not an all-inclusive list, and so if you've got any other questions about it, certainly ask. So obviously you'd need access to a desktop computer or laptop. It's recommended to be 4 years old or newer, and to have at least 4 gigabytes. That's the recommended. The operating systems is recommended to have at least Windows 10, the Mac 10, 13 Plus, or the Chrome. Obviously, you need some free hard drive space to adequately run software and work on course files. As we mentioned previously, the synchronous sessions that you're going to be participating in, you're going to need speakers or headsets for listening and for audio or video, and a webcam for participating in those synchronous sessions or online proctoring. And it's recommended to have the latest version of Edge, Firefox, Safari, or Google, or any of those. And that's about it, Peggy.
Perfect. Thanks, Brenda. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to add there. I think that pretty much covers it. So thanks. We'll move on next to talk a little bit about textbooks and materials. So I know students are wondering how you will access your required textbooks and course materials. So currently our campus bookstore is closed, and of course many of you are not physically in the Cornerbrook area. So Jennifer, can you speak to how students will purchase their required course material?
Yes, for sure. So for this upcoming year, we're going to be continuing with the use of ebooks. So for current students, as you know, in the past, we've provided you with a code, and you used to go to the bookstore, purchase the code, and you could take it home on your computer and enter it and pay for it that way. Or I'm sorry, pay for it at the bookstore and enter the code at home. However, what we're going to do this year is basically, we're going to send you the codes, and you're going to be able to, enter the website, put the code in, enter your credit card information, and purchase your books from the comforts of your home. Basically, is how we're going to do it. So I will be sending, as Peggy mentioned, I will be sending each year, each cohort, a registration memo, and also included with that will be information about textbook purchase and how to do that, and the instructions and the codes. We'll also, of course, be required to purchase ATI, or you will be required to purchase the ATI product again this year. So for each cohort of students, you'll receive a memo with regards to that from me soon. For those students completing lab courses this upcoming fall, so that's 2502, 2004, and 3515, you'll be required to complete or purchase, I should say, a lab kit. And again, I will provide you with information on how to do that in that same memo. For our incoming students, our year 1 students, as Peggy mentioned, I will be sending an admission package early next week, and contained within that package is all the information that you will need with regards to how you can access your textbooks, ATI, what that is, and because I know that's very new to you, and any other supplies that you might need to purchase, probably throughout the fall to get ready for on-site clinical, in the winter semester. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Jennifer. There was a question there about, will this be the same for BN4 students? In regards to textbook purchasing, I think that was in reference to. So in the memos that Jennifer alluded to, all the information regarding this for each specific year, because there may be differences across the years, it will be provided in those memos. And as the admission package will be going in the next couple of weeks, so will those letters to each of the years of cohort students.
Yes, and maybe I didn't mention too, because the fourth year students, of course, will be completing 3523. That's a clinical course in the first 6 weeks of the semester. So you guys won't be required to be on site as such unless you are completing 3523 here in the Corner Brook area. The Nurse 4100 and 4103 courses will be completed remotely, and the seminars that are associated with those are going to be completed remotely as well. So you guys won't necessarily need to be on site for those particular courses. So just to clarify that, I didn't mention that when I spoke to the other labs previously. My apologies.
Hope we address your question there, Sarah, and if not, you can speak up again after when we get to the question section. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering too about how exams will be delivered in a remote environment. I guess the best information that we can provide here is that we are still working on a plan for exams for the fall semester. It's not finalized yet. However, there will be more information provided to students at the beginning of the fall semester. Anything else to add on exams there, Jennifer? I think I covered it, but yeah.
No, I think that's everything for now. Yep.
Okay. So that's the majority of the content that we wanted to cover before we opened it up to questions. However, I'd just like to open it to the panelists first and to faculty who are online, which I didn't introduce earlier either, that there are a number of other faculty that I didn't introduce. They're also here with us today. So is there anything else that you'd like to add before we open it up to questions from everyone online?
I just got one comment around technology. It's, you know, we assume that students are really good at technology and you're comfortable with it. Everybody has a different level of comfort with technology. I certainly didn't have a very high level of comfort with it when I started teaching remotely in March. So it was a challenge for me. But one word of advice is to ask for help. Nothing is too small. Often enough, it's a simple thing like muting, unmuting, or different types of programs you're using to log on, you know, your servers, that type of thing. So just be sure to ask questions and you won't be as, I guess, frustrated as you can be. So just be open to that and don't hesitate, because there's no question that is too little. That's my advice.
Great point, Pam. And I think I'd just like to add on to that as well, that, you know, we were kind of thrown into this when things happened in March. However, there's been a lot of, for us as faculty and as a school, we've done a lot of faculty development since this occurred. There's been a lot of training, a lot of education for us to deal with this change to remote learning and how to teach differently in this type of environment. So as you're all learning in the process and learning how to go to this, faculty are also doing their part and, you know, really getting up to date on things and how to best teach in this environment as well, to support you as students as we transition through this different learning environment. Anyone else want to add anything? Okay. Hearing none, then we will now open it up for questions. So you can type in the chat and we will try to address your questions as best as we can.
While we're waiting for questions here, this is Steve from ITS. I'll just mention to students that if you're not used to using video conferencing software, I suggest getting any software. As soon as you find out what it is, get a copy of the app for your hardware and try it out. If you have a set of earphones that came with an iPhone or anything like that have an inline mic, they'll work no problem with most computers or tablets, and you can use the mic in those. You'll have a much better experience if you have a headset rather than trying to listen through the speakers in your computer. So it's just a couple quick tips.
Excellent, thank you. Not seeing any questions here yet. Okay. All right, couple questions coming in there now. So, okay, so what is the plan for our preceptor? Could you explain the BN4 course offerings preceptor and how it will play out? So I'll just start, and then maybe Jennifer, you can jump in, or the fourth year faculty here. So the plan is for the first 6 weeks of the semester that Nurse 3523 will take place. So during that 6 weeks, you will complete 3523 with a preceptor out in hospital agencies across the province. Then in the second 6 weeks of the semester, which is approximately, I'll say October 22nd or so, you will begin the other two courses, so 4103 and 4100, and they will be offered in a 6-week block. So generally courses are offered over 12 weeks, and you'd have a 3-hour class per week and 1 seminar. But now that it's in 6 weeks, you would do 6 hours of class and 4 hours of lab a week. Anything anyone else wants to add to that?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a complete answer there.
Yep.
I don't have anything else to add. No.
Okay. So the next question was, for first year students where the 1017 course is now moved to the winter semester, are we able to add in an elective from a future year this fall to complete? Absolutely. If that is something you wish to do, then you can certainly add in that course. However, you may be over the credit load because 1017 is a 1 credit course, whereas taking an elective would be a 3 credit course. So it may actually put you over the load. I'm not sure, Shauna, if you can answer that. I don't have my schedule right here in front of me.
I should repeat that, Peggy. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, can you repeat that?
Okay, so there was a question here about where the 1017 course is now moved to the winter semester. Are we able to add in an elective from a future year this fall to complete? And I said that the 1017 is a 1 credit course. So by moving that, they may actually be over the credit load for the fall if they added in a 3 credit.
Right. So they won't have you're removing a 1 credit hour course, 3 credit hour course. So the quick answer is no, you won't be able to replace that with an elective.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Next one, are the third years going to be completing the remainder of our second year clinical before the fall semester? So Jennifer, you want to take this one? Yeah.
Sure, I certainly can. So yes, we are anticipating and hoping that we will, you guys will be able to complete 2520 in the month of August. Right now, we're just awaiting approval from the health authorities, particularly Western Health, to allow us to do that. But so we're hopeful that we will get that information or that approval very soon. And as soon as we do, we will certainly communicate to that information to you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Next question is there any news on whether residents will be able to be available to those who need to be on campus? So yes, residents is available. However, they are at a limited capacity. So if you do need to be on campus, then it's best to reach out to the residents and inquire to that about being on campus.
And also, I do believe they have been asking for letters of proof that you are required to be on campus. So feel free to reach out to Marilyn Borden or myself, actually, and I can pass you along to Marilyn Borden, and she can do up that letter for you and have that sent off for you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer. Next question, for the BN4s that still need to complete electives, are they required to complete them over 12 weeks like usual? Yes, it would still be over 12 weeks like usual. It can be in the fall semester as when it is recommended to be done. Some students do them in the winter semester while they're also doing clinical as well. So they would still be over the 12 weeks. Okay, another question. Are we required to complete science and safety course in the lab 1807 and 1808 for labs in the future? And yes, they will need to be completed. Generally, that's for first year students, and they will need to be completed. And Jennifer will have information on that in the package.
Absolutely, and those are courses that you could complete even prior to the semester starting. So we would encourage you to to get those done and out of the way early. So I'll certainly include information about those courses, you know, in the admissions package.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Next question is, just wondering why clinical hours are extended this year for BN2. I know it was originally 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. this year and now 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I'll just address that in that our clinical courses change year to year and the scheduling and how we offer them. And this year, in regards to this course, there were some changes made to accommodate student clinical and maximizing the hours on the unit. And they are changed to 12-hour shifts this year. Okay. I'm not sure if we have anything else to add to that question. Anybody? No. And I do actually have something else to add to that. There was feedback from students on how we arrange parts of that clinical course. And this change was based on student feedback and needs to best meet their learning in that course. And that's why the changes were made to that course. Okay, next question. Are first year students required to complete first aid and CPR? Brenda, you want to address that one or you want me to do it?
Yes, all students are still required to update their BLS or CPR. First year students will also be required, and we do know and acknowledge that there's limited access to these courses right now due to COVID-19, and there's parameters and guidelines put in place, and we'll be noting all that. But yes, once you get your admission package, we'll have the dates and stuff all lined up for you. But and like I said, we do acknowledge there's some challenges, but you still are required to complete your first aid and CPR, absolutely. Yep. But the dates will be communicated in your admission packages.
Yep. Thanks, Brenda. And that admission package that we've been referencing here a lot today is a very important package just because it has a lot of information in regards to what you need to do before you begin. The school also arranges with some organizations for certain dates, and that's what Brenda is alluding to there. Okay, I don't see any more questions there. We'll just give you some time to add any more. Oh, okay. Will first year students still be required to have a TB test even though we will not be in the classroom hospital? So Brenda, I'll let you jump in on that one as well.
Yes, all of our pre-health screening and all of our CPR, BLS, first aid and all that, we're still going to be requiring that even though you're not going to clinical right away. It takes time to go through all of the applicants, all of the processes just to see what's outstanding. So even though you're not going to clinical till January, we still need lots of time to go through it to make sure you're meeting all of our requirements. So yes, you will still be expected to get that done within the usual time limits. And again, the admission packages will determine or dictate that the timelines, but yeah, still required. And again, we acknowledge that access to public health might be limited due to COVID-19, and that's all being considered, and therefore that's why we're updating our admission package dates.
Yeah, thanks, Brenda. And just to add on to that, sometimes things in the package when you're doing the preclinical requirements take time. So if you get something and then you need further immunization for other things, then it does take time. So it's best to have things in as early as possible. That's why we set a deadline in August so that we can accommodate for the follow-up that some students may require after that.
And I'm just going to add, because it might be in that someone might be thinking this as well, for the criminal record checks, the vulnerable sector checks, the same thing applies. It's all still required despite not going to clinical till January. It's still a requirement.
Yep. And we just had a question about when we anticipate the admission packages. Oh, someone answered it. They're going to be sent out by the end of next week. I would say they'll be sent out to everybody at their email addresses that we have on file. So for those new students, I highly suggest that you're checking your email, and not only in the new students, but all students be checking your email regularly, like Pam mentioned earlier. It really is the way we communicate with everybody, and it's best to be checking that daily at least. Okay. Any other questions? Not seeing any questions here yet. Okay, let's see here. So since 2520 is a prerequisite for most of the third year courses, will we still be able to register for those courses once we are able to register? That's a great question. I'm going to pass that over to Jennifer and maybe Shauna. So.
That is a really good question, and that's something that we're currently looking into. So stay tuned, because we will certainly communicate that information to you once we know, once we receive approval with regards to 2520. And like I say, we'll certainly communicate that to you about registration.
Okay, any more questions there? Another thing to add, don't hesitate to reach out to the school. There is a general email. It's nursingschool@grenfell.mon.ca if you have questions like that, or you can reach out to Jennifer, myself, or any of the faculty. Okay, still not getting any more questions here. Okay. Shauna, to everybody. Registrar's office is answering calls Monday to Friday until July 31st to help with registration. So 637-6298. That's a great point, Shauna. So what do you do if your family doctor is not taking appointments at the moment? So there are alternate ways that you can do this. I know that there are some nurse practitioners and communities around the region that see clients. I also think that there is online resources. I know that there is a medical clinic out of Springdale that will see anyone if you make an appointment through there. I can't remember the name of it. Do anyone online know the name of that health clinic? No, but we can find that out for you. Normally, we would recommend that you would go to a non-emerge and see someone, but we're not going to recommend that at this point in time because we want to reduce the amount of traffic and unnecessary visits to healthcare facilities such as that. However, there are ways in which to get appointments. So if you're having trouble, you can reach out to us and we can find some of that information for you. Shauna, are there there's no health services available yet on campus, is there?
So there's still continued supports for like counseling services and that, but we don't have doctors on staff at the moment. I know in the past the Broadway Health Clinic in Corner Brook has taken Grenfell students, but I know a lot of doctors are still doing their appointments via phone. So I think the message to students is we want you to try and get it done, but we also know it might be hard to get it done in a timely fashion as we would normally expect, right?
Yeah, and for those who are struggling, like there are sometimes it could be done by a phone call or virtual visit, but there's also that other clinic that we can find the information to and certainly provide it to students who need it. Okay.
I just want to clarify who Desiree, I think, asked a question about the family doctor. Are you referring to like completing the form for pre-admission? Is that what you're referring to? I don't know if Desiree's still on.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what she's asking about. Because if it is, there's a public health nurses you can go to. Oh yeah, the medical tests. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so while you're waiting to get in, see the doctor about that, you can also be going to your public health nurses to get TSTs and those screening, get your immunization records. So again, we acknowledge that, there's a backup and a bottlenecking of appointments now, and we absolutely understand that. And it's just to communicate to us if you run into that. But in the meantime, still work on stuff that you can be doing, such as your immunization records and stuff from public health and nurse practitioners or whomever.
Yeah. And if you're having any individual concerns or questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Brenda would be a great one to reach out for that. All of our emails are available on the Grenfell website under nursing as well. So if you want to reach out to any of us, our contact information is there. Okay. I'll open it up again. It's great questions. It's great to hear from everybody. Any further questions there from anybody? Okay. Any other comments from any of the faculty online or?
Oh, there's a question there. How much time will we have to get back into Corner Brook to complete 2520? And so we understand that you'll need time to come back to find accommodations, that sort of thing. And we are really hopeful that we will have some news about that course by the end of this week. We understand all of those challenges. So hopefully by the end of this week we'll have some news to communicate to you. But bear in mind, like I say, we do understand that you do need time to be able to to pack up and to come back. So we understand that.
Yeah, and if you recall, I asked students where they were living due to COVID-19 and stuff, and that's why, because we were, anticipating there's some people going to be needing to come back to residence or at a province or whatnot. So that's why we were asking those questions in the beginning.
Thanks,
So
guys.
are we going to have to purchase any medical equipment supplies prior to the start of classes for first-year students? So again, in that package, there will be a list of supplies like a stethoscope and things like that, but those are things that you won't necessarily have to purchase prior to September or the first day of classes, but you'll need them prior to starting classes in January. And those items will be clearly, all of that will be clearly outlined for you in that package.
Okay, just wondering if you have any information on the completion of 1520 is being done with Montfort and CNS. That is best to reach out directly to the CNS and Montfort. However, Laura, I'm not sure if you have anything. I guess what in particular are you needing to know about 1520? I know some of the alternate learning is occurring right now, actually. If it's in relation to the direct clinical, yeah, the physical clinical, I don't think that's ironed out yet. Again, I know that the other two sites are working with Eastern Health for that return to clinical. And again, like we're waiting for Western Health, they're waiting for Eastern Health and the Department of Health and Community Services to give the direction for us to proceed with that course. There's plans in place, but we just need to have that direction and proceed. And Laura, I'm not sure if there's anything else you have to add to that. Yeah, oh, perfect, you did. So it hasn't been finalized yet, but you'll get notification as soon as there's any news. Perfect, thank you. Okay, any other questions? It's a lot of great discussion, so we really appreciate you putting the questions in there because it helps everybody online who may have the same question. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions there. So I'll just reiterate to everybody that don't hesitate to reach out. Sometimes it could be a very simple question, but we're here to support you in this transition for new students and also for all of our returning students as we deal with this alternate way of learning that we are now in. So don't hesitate to reach out. Again, questions can be sent to the nursing school at grenfell.mon.ca email or to, thank you, Laura, or to any of the faculty and admin that are on the website. You can just certainly reach out to us and we'll help you with whatever concerns that you have. So if there's no further questions, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today. Be sure to refer to your Grenfell Experience Resource Hub on Grenfell's website, where we will post updates. Also, check your official Grenfell email regularly for important information and updates, especially with all this uncertainty around things. As we get the direction, we will be providing it to students as soon as we can. So forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care, and please reach out at any time for any further information. So thank you, everybody.